A lot of you would be, facing this kind of situation where our loading and unloading docks are common. And when I know that what time each shipment is coming and what time each shipment is going to go, I can be able to plan my shifts better in terms of day-to-day scheduling. See, the beauty lies in the detail. You can talk anything in the boardroom, but what helps you, achieve excellence is what is running on the ground. So this is the information I'm talking about as a user. And I'm sure my friends on my panel would surely have a lot of, suggestions and backup plans for me to have this dream come true. I pass it over to Kapil now.
Okay. Thank you. I think I need to get up. These lights are really blinding me. Hello. All right, so good evening, everyone. So I represent Safexpress. We are a logistics company, one of the biggest logistics company in India. I'm going to probably spend 5 minutes talking about how we are going about our IoT journey. It's a part of our overall IoT strategy for this year. And I'm going to discuss a very simple and probably a very common use case that you guys would be very well aware of. And that's around having a connected fleet, right? So we have about a fleet of 6,000 trucks. We operate across India. We have 4,000 trucks that have connectivity. So they have GPS tracking devices on them. We operate around 1,000 plus routes across India. Now, when we started this project, it was a very standard use case. You connect your fleet, you get two basic things out of it. You get operational efficiency, and you are able to manage your driver, right? So driver behavior, driver connectivity, and standard stuff that comes bundled with it. Where it started becoming a problem was when we started scaling up, right? So when we were hundreds of trucks, it was manageable. We could control things better. We would know when a delay would happen. The moment we started going into thousands, things started falling apart, right? So now just imagine the map of India, 1,000 routes all over the place, and 6,000 vehicles, out of which 4,000 are connected, on this map. It just becomes a blip on the map. You really don't know what to do with that data. It's too overwhelming. So we knew there was a problem. So we have invested so much money on the infrastructure, we need to figure out a way to use it. So what we did, we did a consulting exercise for about a month, and we figured out that the way we are doing it needs to change. And the problem was that we are not really looking at the analytics side of IoT. And the solution was simple. We knew the solution. Solution was, we need to look at this project not in isolation, but bring it into the mainstream and link it to our core. So when I say core, I mean your core ERP, could be your core CRM, could be your other operational systems. Again, as a user perspective, I would say that when you're using IoT, you got to look at IoT projects in a much more synergized way. They need to be more tightly coupled with your existing operational backbones, right, which could be your different IT systems. So that's what we started doing. We started on this journey in the last, and again, we knew the end result of the journey, and what we wanted to do was, we wanted to create the concept of smart hubs. So we call it HOG, which is Hub on the Go. What we really did was, so we have these 4,000 trucks. We get a ping every 6 minutes. That's about 40,000 pings for 4,000 trucks an hour. And that's about 1 million pings a day, right? So that's a lot of data. What do we do with this data? Do I really need those million records to kind of, go through it and make sense out of it? Probably not. What I need is maybe 2,000 rows out of that 1 million records and make some insightful decisioning and analytics around it. So what we started doing was, we took this data, we started merging it with our operational data. So I'll give you an example. So I have these vehicles, right? So again, I don't know how many of you are familiar with actual, basically, since we are a logistic company, let me put it simple. What we do is we take goods from point A and we deliver it to point B. In between, we could have transshipment, which could be point C, D, E, and F, right? So that's where we load and unload and we move it on. So what we really did was, now my guy at the hub right now, in the current world, most of the companies in India, the way it operates is, the guys have local intelligence, the guys on the hubs who are actually moving stuff around. These are the guys who would know when a truck will come, how long will it take to load an 8-tonner truck versus a 10-tonner versus a 12-tonner. And they would use their own brains and try to work their magic to meet the deadlines. What we really did was, we had all this data in our core ERP. So how much data is traveling on a truck? what trucks are scheduled to arrive in a given destination within a 1 hour window, 2 hour window, 3 hour window. We built a dashboard around it and we made it available on our hubs. It was on the big screen like you see in the airport. You have the flight arrival and departure screens. So you could get a sense of how many trucks are coming in 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour. What is the tonnage, right, of these trucks? How much material is already loaded onto those trucks? What is the material that you need to connect from your hub? Will that truck be able to connect, load that material? Does it have enough space to load it? If not, it would give you an insight and tell your hub manager that you have more stuff available on your hub that you need to connect. Please go and get a market vehicle. Because we have an SLA that our stuff cannot be in a hub for more than 24 hours. That's how we meet our stringent timelines, right? So now what has happened is really this, by merging all these data points together, we are able to create a lot of insightful dashboards for our hub managers. They could take decisions on the fly. It gives them enough time to plan. Now, when we merge the staff data, the actual loaders and unloaders on the ground, we could build dynamic timetables for them. So right now, the timetables are done once a month or once in every week. Now, we could dynamically tune it. So we could say if 10 vehicles are coming in 1 hour, you need 20 people to handle it, versus the next hour where you're expecting 20 vehicles and you need maybe 30 guys or 20 guys to do it. So right now, it's all static. So if volume goes up, people just kind of go crazy and bonkers and they try to get the work done. But things get delayed because of that. So by trying to move all this decision making from the people and moving it to the system, we are able to, and we project that probably in the next few months, we should be able to see at least 10% of operational efficiency. What it will always also help us do is that most of our trucks are all, we don't own our trucks, we don't own our fleet. That makes it very challenging because these trucks are owned by these small people who are not really very tech savvy. Some of the vendors have 100 trucks with us, some have 200, and some even have 1,000. But we knew that we need to mobilize these guys, right? We need to enable these guys. So what we did with this exercise, and it's a simple solution that we had implemented, was that we took all this data and we made it available on an app to our vendors. So now at any point in time, our vendor could get a view of where his trucks are. Are they stopping at a particular position for a longer time? If it doesn't move from this stopping position, it's going to miss the SLA, because if it misses the SLA, we're going to penalize the guy and he has to pay money every hour he does not, every hour it gets delayed. He ends up paying money to us, right? So by doing that, the objective was that it'll increase the operational efficiency. So I think and also the customer servicing piece of it, what it really does at any point in time, now my system could predict and tell you that this particular package is going to miss the delivery ETA. Right? So the customer service, when a call comes in, could already prepare or tell the customer that, look, we are sorry that because of so-and-so reason, there was a curfew or there could be some landslide, your shipment is getting delayed. And, it could be a proactive calling rather than a customer calling us and telling us, post the shipment has got delayed. So to summarize it all, I think Prem talked about IoT. I would just want to end up by saying that the way I look at it, where IoT is heading, the next wave in Internet of Things is going to be cognitive, right? So cognitive era is the era where you would merge your machine learning, your NLP, your AI, and all of that will come together. And it'll build an ecosystem where things will really become, we talked about predictive and prescriptive and all that great stuff, right? A lot of the speakers covered it in the presentations before me. So all of that is really going to make sense once we do that. So again, to close the conversation, would say that look at the business driver for your technology. Technology is supposed to enable your business, not the other way around. So there are a lot of companies who go out there shopping for technology and then try to find a business use case. I think it should be the other way around. You try to find the technology that will solve your business problem. And you always start small with IoT, and then you scale it up, because scaling up has got its own set of challenges. So it's a great journey. We are learning a lot, and we have a lot of other projects that we are doing around barcodes and smart routing and a lot of amazing stuff. But in the interest of time, I would just want to say that go out there. IoT is going to be big. Gartner predicts by 2021, you'll have 1 million IoT devices. being purchased every hour, right? So just imagine the kind of scope that is there, right? Because everything is going to be connected, and we are going to be connected and what they call the Internet of Everything, right? So with that note, I would like to thank you guys. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I am from Pidilte. I think Pidilte is known. We make several products and the supply chain is very complex. We make about 500 products. One of them is Fevicol and there are some other products. So we wish to improve our supply chain and we thought IoT is one of the methods which everybody is talking about. IoT has become something like one size fits all. Everywhere want to put IoT and try to make better business. So basically IoT, I will just try to clarify some issues. I am from technology background. IoT has a difference between the earlier sensors. IoT sensor by definition should be autonomous. Most of the things which are talked about as IoT, and many of them are not IoT only. The sensor has to be autonomous. That means the sensor will have sensing arrangement. It will have a compute built in. It will have a memory and it will have a logic unit. That means everything a control system can do, a sensor can do. So most of the sensors today are not exactly IoT compatible sensors. Okay, some of them can connect to IoT other platforms, but most of the sensors today are not IoT sensors, first of all. So when you have autonomous sensors, the other basic challenge is the autonomous sensor should have mesh topology. Again, going to little bit of technology, I don't know the target audience. Mesh topology means it talks to all the sensors or operators or agents. That means I talk to Vivek, I talk to him, everybody, he can talk to you, it's a mesh topology. It's not a star topology. Most of the implementation today are star topology. It goes to one point and from there it is again distributed, go to cloud and all. By making it mesh topology, it becomes really intelligent. Otherwise, the data becomes what is called Hanuman engineering. If you know our Ramayana, Hanuman was sent to get Visalakarani. He could not find out Visalakarani. He brought the entire mountain. So that is the data status now today. You don't know what you to do with what is smart data. You just bring all the data for it. It becomes a more problem for the CIOs and the technologists like us than it is a solution. It does not serve any purpose. So you should have the smart data. Smart data is like, I relate here something. Suppose you have a smoke detector here. Smoke detectors are supposed to give alarm when it is there is smoke or fire. For 15 years there will be no smoke and fire. But the smoke detector continuously dumps the data. That is not IoT, that is not smart data. It gives data. I am telling you the background so that I can go to the requirement of supply chain for Pidilte. So it is not, it does not go on dumping data. It gets it by mesh topology. It has got other sensors like CO2 sensor, light interference sensors. So when there is real smoke, everything changes. Temperature changes, CO2 level changes, light change, this intensity changes. So it says that yes, now I am sensing some smoke. Are you sensing? Then the mesh topology is required. Unfortunately, today, most of our networks are not ready for mesh topology. And the softwares also are not ready. That is the challenge. Okay, so what it does, it says that, okay, I am also sensing, he is also sensing. Then that time he has a memory, small memory of 15 minutes or 5 minutes or 1 minute, which I said the automatic and autonomous sensor should have, that dumps the whole memory to the central control room for and gives the command to the agent, fire this agent to act. That is what is necessary for IoT to act smartly, not the way many people are trying to implement it. Now coming to the requirement of the supply chain, the supply chain for the digital era requires what is called disintermediation. There should not be any intermediate. Then none of you exist because most of you are from supply chain and you supply the transit. So what is required? Suppose for Pidilte, I make Fevicol or adhesive. Somebody wants adhesive. He just says that I want this adhesive to a system, and that system acts on the reactor, makes the adhesive, and send it to that consumer. So there is no intermediate, no distribution, no retailer, nothing. That is what is desired. It is more desired because what is called mass personalization. The digital world is looking for personalization or customization of the products. What product is true for one person is not true for the other one. So it is required that you have to custom make the products. If you have to, coming back to adhesives you make, suppose you have one adhesive which I want to tell you. Suppose you have a retina detached. Some adhesive is used to fix the retina. What happens? Why it requires customization? It needs customization because everybody's eye is different. The pH is different. The fluid inside is different. So it has to be custom made for that eye, which cannot be made in advance. It has to be made on the spot and has to be delivered. So how it can be done? So the eye surgeon will open the eye. The final test of say 1-2% he will do, and he will say this is what I want for this person. And it has to look for the library, take the data, manufacture in a small reactor and deliver. Deliver how? Deliver immediately. It's already on the, so you can make it, you can make the reactor on the operating table. There are micro reactors which are possible to put in operating table. You manufacture there and deliver. That is one way. You can deliver by a drone, which is also big use now. So these are the supply chain which is required for the new digital era, where the mass customization and disintermediation is essential. Without that, the other supply chains will not be very much viable after few months or few years. A bad thing which I say, but this is what it is. Because the lot size is becoming one. A shirt which you make, you can make yourself. You can design it, and that is for unique to you. What you want to eat is also, you can make the recipe for yourself, and it is one. Now it is delivered by a drone or by a, this 3,000 trucks are of no use. Are of use, but it will be in different format. So that is why the IoT becomes very essential in this sense. The supply chain for Pidilte will need, we want to reduce the, suppose we are delivering in 15 days, our people are very proud of our supply chain. Thanks to the supply chain service providers. We can deliver in 15 days. But that is what